Yeah.
Let's dream big.
That's about as big as you can get. Like when you say Nicol Bolas, like Omniscience is a real thing if that's a deck, but I don't think it is. When you're saying like getting back Nicol Bolas, my question is what is easier to build a deck around? Putting Nicol Bolas in your graveyard and Obsidian's aiding it, or just casting Nicol Bolas? Like to me, they seem like almost the same difficulty level.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you're probably right.
So I'm not saying you can't play it to cheat. So like if you want to play to cheat mana costs, I think you're better off just casting the spell you want to cast. So where I think it sees play is as a toolbox card. You know, like I said before, the other reason we play a reanimate spell is because of the toolbox that it has.
You get all the options of all the things that are in your graveyard.
Zombify is not has not particularly been a standard playable card. So the only things the reason this would be better than Zombify is one, if there's sweet enchantments to get back, which I can't really think of. So the reason it'd be good is two, it can reanimate your opponent's things. So if we're in a format where your opponent consistently, if they're like strong plays, and I mean like legitimately strong plays to make where you hit your opponent's things, now I like the toolbox behind the card.
Unfortunately, I believe Obsidian's Aid, and you can double check this, is just your own. So
I will double check that. I assumed it was either
there's some cheating going on.
Well, that would certainly mean you can't do that.
Yeah. So we are moving to another match. We have Cameron Herzog with Evolve Aggro.
Just your own, you're right.
Which is the same, it looks like the same list that we saw Sai play before back in round 2. So we're excited to see this again. Versus Alastair Pickett with Junk Reanimator.
Yeah, tons of Junk Reanimator this weekend.
Yeah. Large amounts of Junk Reanimator getting beat down, though.
Obviously, it's only your own graveyard. Now, okay.
So
I was giving away.
So
I didn't think it was. I was thinking it was either graveyard and was telling you I didn't really like the card. So this kind of affects my opinion of it in a continually more negative way. But, all right.
So Cameron lost game 1, so he's on the play, and he has the turn 1 Experiment 1. And so we've got a Rancor in his hand. Not sure what else is going on over there.
Yeah. Let's check. So Cameron's lost the first game. So one of the questions that I had when we saw this deck around the first time was it was really explosive. It had these great aggro openings, and I was questioning the consistency of it.
Yeah. You know,
how often can it do this? So I like seeing more matches with this because I want to see just how often they can pull these, these shenanigans can happen.
Yep.
Stronger Grace, obviously a very strong card.
Yeah.
And I think something that's regained its positioning. It really fell out of favor. And I like that it's seen play again because I do think the card's powerful.
Yeah, no, it's seeing more play now because it's a nice sort of blocking answer to the aggressive decks, and in this case it's actually seeing main deck play. So we have Abrupt Decay from Alastair on the Experiment 1. He doesn't want that to get out of control, and I'd imagine we're going to play out land and Rancor up the Strangleroot guys.
Yeah, we're a little heavy on land. Cameron's a little heavy on lands right now.
Yeah.
He has it looks like a Dryad, Militant, a Rancor, a Spell Rupture, and then some lands.
Yep.
With these kind of aggro decks, I kind of feel like shoving damage is just what you do. Rancor it and go.
So, is there any merit in leaving up the Spell Crumple there?
Yeah, the Spell Rupture.
Or Spell Rupture, rather.
I don't think there's a card that you really care about right now. No.
We want to save that for Burial Rites.
You got one more turn.
Or Thragtusk.
Yeah. I think so. When does Junk actually start resolving things you care about?
When it hits 4
mana. It's gonna hit like a Grizzly Salvage here, and then this 4 mana thing could be an Unburial Rites, and then you really do care. Lingering Souls, or we have Centaur Healer right here, which is actually that's pretty good. The thing is, would have we Spell Ruptured that? I'm not sure. Probably, but possibly not. Let me see.
See the Cloudfin Raptor, which we should be playing pre-combat because we expect our Strangleroot guys to die.
And this is some of the cooler lines with the deck, and it looks like Alastair's just going to take that.
Yeah. So we've got a Dryad Militant out. I know that exiles cards. Is that just instants and sorceries?
Yeah.
So we don't have any non-bows on Cameron's side with Undying
or
Rancor
not going to hurt
or anything
the guys
like
to
that. Nice card.
Grizzly Salvage, all right. And got to remember, that's going to get rid of all that stuff.
Yeah, so Tragic Slip and the Grizzly Salvage are both going to be exiled. We've got Tristani,
another
a Restoration
Salvage,
Angel,
and a
Thragtusk.
Remember, Alastair can still actually cast an Unburial Rites on one of these monsters that goes in the yard. if he has one.
Yeah.
Dryad Militant does not get around that, but it'll just kind of stop some of the extra value there. It looks like Alastair does have the Unbearer rights as well, I believe.
So, which of these cards do you like here?
It depends what's in hand. He looks like he has a mana creature, 3 lands, and I don't know. I can't tell what his hand is. I mean, in the abstract, I would say probably either Thragtusk or Tristani. I want the life gain. I like Tristani's a 2/5. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Well, so the problem with Tristani is it's going to block the Strangler Rootgeist once, but then it's not going to be able to block it again, and it's not going to do anything for the Cloudfin Raptor.
No, you're right. So that is a little bit of a concern.
Yeah. So and the fact that like you don't gain the life immediately, you have to wait till you cast other creatures, may make it, it's the card that is going to grind out more life in the long game, but it's unclear whether Alastair has a ton of time.
Cameron's drawn a hate card. It's a Ground Seal. All right, so Ground Seal combined with Dryad Militant does turn off everything the deck can do. Because you can no longer play Living Ring Souls out of the yard. You can no longer cast. That's essentially a rest of these.
Yep. And so we're getting in for 4 again.
Alastair down to 7.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of fragility going on here. Like the Evolve aggro deck. How do I put it? Like it feels really fragile. We're looking at a board. There's a 2/1 and a 0/1 on the board, and you're winning with a 2/1, a 4/1 trample. And it's like. It's winning, and that's cool, and I like that about the deck. It's scary because your cards are so much worse than what your opponent's doing right now.
Yeah.
Your opponents are playing Mythic Rares, and you have a 0/1. That's like... That's scary.
I wonder if it... No. Sorry. I was thinking about whether it made any sense to trade the Evson's Pilgrim for the Strangler Rootgeist last turn.
Spell Rupture on Tristani is huge there.
Yeah.
Alastair has another Gristly Salvage in hand, so has another chance to find something, but I think, this is dicey for...
Yeah. And, at this point, he's got a really tough decision about whether he wants to trade this Centaur Healer for the front end of the Strangler Rootgeist. If he does, that means that Cameron's going to be able to use the Rancor on the Cloudfin Raptor and have this aerial damage coming in. But at the same time, can he afford to take 4 here again? It's a really tough spot that Alastair's been put in.
The draw was another Cloudfin Raptor for Cameron, which is a little unfortunate.
Yeah.
So we do see Thragtusk. That's what will get taken right away.
And some lands and...
some exiled things.
Yeah. Looks
and
like
an Arbor.
Yep.
So Thragtusk will be good here, and actually gives Alastair enough creatures to kind of stem the bleeding here.
Yeah. So at this point, I feel like you have to just trade that that Centaur Healer for the front end of the Strangler Rootgeist. Partially just to prevent 3 damage, but also to set up being able to trade off other creatures.
The last trade wasn't made because Tristani's a 2/5, so I think Alastair was hoping to just eat it and then trade. So was hoping to eat Strangler Rootgeist with Tristani and then trade Centaur Healer with the back end.
Yeah. But I don't think he was in that position to do that now.
Right.
And we're attacking? This seems ambitious. Attacking here means that the Dryad Militant's going to be able to get in.
Yeah, I don't... he goes up to 8.
Let's say Cameron gets
aggressive.
A creature that evolves the Cloudfin Raptors.
It's going to happen eventually. They play Cloudfin Raptor for a reason. You have to... say Cameron draws Rapid Hybridization. That's just terrifying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's actually. I
think that kills him. Yeah.
No, close.
Yes,
it does. Yeah, it kills him. It kills him. It does 8. You get 4. You get 6 off the Flyers and 2 off the Dryad Militant. It would kill him.
So we attack in again, and looks like Alastair just declines to block again. Goes down to 4. Draws a Deathrite Shaman. I'm really curious what Alastair's plan to win this game is. If he's not going to block, he's he's not racing effectively.
He's not racing. He's not racing ineffectively. Exactly. He drew. Wait, how's that? That swing makes no sense. Isn't he just dead?
Yeah, he's dead on board.
Cameron takes all this. He's dead.
And like he gets to play a chump blocker.
It's not enough. It has trample.
Oh, actually, I guess he gets to put 2 toughness in front of the Strangleroot Geist and the Pilgrim on the Dryad Militant.
So he just has to hope Cameron doesn't draw a creature.
Yeah.
That's odd. I mean, it's a daring line. You know, a lot of things have to work for that line to happen. And another Strangleroot Geist was drawn, and
that will be enough.
Easily should be enough. Cameron needs to be careful. I mean, he's probably right in his head thinking, okay, what am I playing around? Alright, Q counters on Cloudfin Raptors, and, you know, it looks like it should just be a swing of the team.
Yeah. I think you can safely swing with both the Strangleroot Geist and the Cloudfin Raptors.
You want to make sure, if you swing, I believe you have to, you want to swing everything, otherwise you may not win.
If you only swing the Raptors and the Geist, Alastair can block and go to 1.
No, because the 2 Raptors will get through for 2 damage, and then we're going to have trample damage off the Strangleroot Geist.
Yeah, he double blocks the Geist.
Then the other Strangleroot Geist gets through for 2.
Okay, if he swings the second Geist as
well.
Yeah. Yep. What he's worried about, I think what Cameron has to be worried about is Restoration Angel. If Alastair has Restoration Angel,
that is the card that gets him out.
I mean, he does have Spell Rupture, though. Yeah, Spell Rupture in his hand. That's, you know, he's not actually worried about anything. You know, you have a lethal swing and a counter spell to your opponent's 1-card hand. Like, that's a pretty sweet place to be.
Yep. So back to Alastair, and Alastair should scoop it up because time is an issue, and like it doesn't help to tank it out and pretend that you have an answer when you don't. There's no effect to that bluff. So we even things up 1-1. Cameron with his Evolve aggro deck against Alastair Pickett's Jund Reanimator deck. So it looks like Cameron definitely brought in the Dryad Militants, and he brought in the Ground Seals. I'd imagine that he didn't bring in any of the other cards in his sideboard. He's got 2 Dispels, some Near-Heath Pilgrims, and some Triumph of Ferocities, none of which seem like they're for this match.
Correct.
Maybe probably took out some Unsummons and Celestia Charms to fit those in. So like we saw Cloudfin Raptors, we saw Experiment Ones. May have seen some other cards. So probably Unsummon. Celestia Charm seems like it's a good card to keep in.
Well, Celestia Charm is another creature, which seems pretty relevant. The one thing I'm noticing about the deck is it seems like its creature count's a little low. Unsummon, I don't know if it's particularly good. It doesn't seem particularly good against the Junk Reanimator deck, because I'm not really sure what you're unsummoning. I don't want to unsummon Thragtusks. I don't really want to unsummon Centaur Healers.
Yeah.
I certainly don't want to, unsummon Restoration Angels or
like
mana creatures.
Are you unsummoning a mana guy on turn 1? No, you'd rather be attacking with it.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a tempo play, of just unsummoning their mana dark, but this isn't that kind of matchup. So yeah, I would see those coming out.
Yeah. And then
I think the danger of the Evolve deck in keeping it is that you have so many cards that are subpar. And that's not to say that, I mean, by themselves are really bad cards.
Yeah.
Like you have Dryad Militant. I mean, I guess there was a time where Savannah Lions, there was a time where it was really good. I am of the opinion that I don't think it's true anymore. Especially not, creatures are just better.
Yep.
Cloudfin Raptor, Young Wolf, Experiment 1. Okay, all 16 of those cards, or 15, they only have 3 militants that you have in your deck. It's like 2/3 of your creature base aren't very good creatures. Your only really good creatures are the 2 Geists.
Yep.
The Strangleroots and Geist to Saint Traps.
Yeah, I mean, it's the classic trade-off of a tempo aggro deck that is relying on synergy and just having a lower curve than your opponent versus a deck that is more mid-rangey and is relying on its average card quality and not any particular interaction to win things out. So from Alastair's perspective, he's got some removal that he can bring in. He's got some Tragic Slips. He's got some Abrupt Decays. He's there anything else in there that seems exciting to you?
No, I think his main deck plan is powerful enough to beat the Evolve aggro deck. I think he has to be a little surgical with his removal spells, like make sure he's hitting stuff at the right time. Like possibly, what did he end up abrupt decaying that game?
Experiment 1 that was played on
It's possible
turn
that he
1.
wasn't supposed to do that. So if you think, what he maybe should have done was killed Strangleroot Geist, and then abrupt decay, whatever Cameron tried to rank.
Yeah.
Like maybe he needed to be even greedier with the abrupt decay, because if you can start 2-for-1ing this Evolve deck, they're gonna be stuck with some really bad things in play. Centaur Healer had the ability to trade with Experiment 1, so it's possible he was just supposed to do that.
Yeah, and so he may not realize how hard it is for Experiment 1 to evolve past a 3/3. Like, the only way that you can do that is with the Geist of St. Traff.
Exactly.
So that may have been where some of that assignment error was coming from. And he may have thought that he didn't need to be so greedy, that the Abrupt Decay needed to be a counter for the Rancor. But the Rancor, in fact,
Rancor
was
won the game.
Really,
the
really
Rancor was the game that time.
and like Alastair would have been able to stabilize if it weren't for that, and so maybe he's going to make that connection, and in this game is going to say, okay, my Tragic Slips and my Abrupt Decays, they are only for countering Rancor unless I have 2 of them.
In some ways, I really feel like this Evolve aggro deck, is the game plan of the deck is creatures plus Rancor, which is a tried and true combo.
Yeah.
So. But the creatures aren't anything spectacular. What they have in common is that they undie. It's like undying guys plus Rancor.
And like
it's fine if they can't.
Low curve.
Yeah.
That's the thing that we like about this, or that's the thing that's appealing about this that would make you want to play it. So looks like we have our opening 7 cards, and both players are keeping. We have a turn 1 Overgrown Tomb from Alastair, which is going to lead to a Navason's Pilgrim. It looks like Alastair has a pretty business-heavy land. He's got a Cavern of Souls, and it looks like that's the only other land. There's a Sever the Bloodline, there's a Deathrite Shaman, and there's an Angel of Serenity in his hand. I think there might be one more card in there. Cameron does not have a 1-drop, so presumably he has like a Strangleroot Geist in his hand or something along those lines. But Alastair has... that's the other card. Alastair has a Centaur Healer. And we find out that the Cavern that Alastair played is on Angel, which will help fix mana for that someday, that Angel of Serenity.
So, obviously a fast start for Alastair, which is good. The one thing I like in this matchup is Centaur Healer's I generally dislike the card because I feel like it's not a real card. Its body doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true in this matchup.
Yeah.
3/3 trades with everything Cameron does.
No,
and 3 life points are real too. I think the Centaur Healer is a great card in the matchup.
Yeah. Against all the red decks, like, you really want 4 toughness, but here, like, 3 toughness is just fine. This seems like a kind of ambitious attack. Oh, I see what happened. So, Alastair drew a land and has a Restoration Angel in his hand.
And I'm even if he didn't have it, I'm somewhat okay with the attack. Like, he has a Restoration Angel, he has a Sever. The cat's gonna be out of the bag because I think he has to play a Overgrown Tomb untapped.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, untapped, go. I love that line. He's like, no, I just want to take 2.
I think he should actually just main phase it. Like, your opponent plays Spell Rupture, you know about that.
Maybe you should main phase it. If your opponent, if Cameron holds up Spell Rupture, I'm just not going to Angel, and I'm going to be fist pumping in my head about what just happened.
Well, Cameron's going to attack here with his Strangleroot Geist.
Yeah.
Right. So, if you had Angel, you would play Angel and block, right?
No, I'm okay just end stepping the Angel.
Okay. That's fine as well.
If he attacks, he's clearly he's representing his Spell Rupture. And maybe then that means the guy would just be running the sick bluffs on me, just swinging for the fences straight into my card. But
alright. So Cameron plays a Temple Garden, goes ahead and casts his Geist of St. Traff. Alastair puts the Restoration Angel into play at the end of turn.
The Evolve deck's just a little behind right now.
It's going to get more behind.
Well,
it's
Alastair
not
doesn't
catch
have
up, right?
lands, so it could still catch up. Alastair has Sever, Abrupt Decay, Deathrite Shaman, Angel of Serenity, so he's a little short on follow-up at the moment.
And that's true, but what is Cameron going to do to push through, a 3-3 and a 3-4? Alastair kind of can just sit there and wait until he draws enough gas to start casting his things. Like, he does not need to push forward in the match. Cameron does, and Alastair kind of has brick walls for it. We know that Cameron has a Rancor in hand that will help his guys trade up. Alastair appears to have decided that he wants to be the aggressor in this matchup. We're thinking about an attack with the Centaur Healer and the Restoration Angel. Looks like it's coming through.
Racing Geist to St. Traps, I don't like doing that. That guy hits really hard.
That's absolutely true. Technically, Alastair, I think, can play a Deathrite Shaman and threaten to double block.
That's I don't want to make that block,
that's awful. It opens you up so much.
I mean, I don't know if you suspect your opponent plays unsummons. You probably know so. And that actually worked out fairly well. That trade has got to be something Alastair's happy about.
Yeah. But I'd much rather, make that. I'd much rather just not attack.
And you can't even play
and
Abrupt Decay. Your mana's not correct.
Yeah. So
Cameron has a window here. The thing about Alastair's hand is it doesn't have. I think Alastair just wants to stay alive. I don't think Alastair can get Cameron to 0 with these attacks.
I agree completely.
But
he just wants to prolong the game and let his inevitability sink in. So it looks like we've got a Rapid Hybridization and Experiment 1 and a Rancor in Cameron's hand, along with some lands, which he potentially can put together to get Geist through this turn.
Right. So I mean, this is okay. So Cameron just continues plan of being aggro here.
Yeah.
It is, he does have Rapid Hybridization, which is pretty big here.
Yeah, he has the potential to punish Alastair for a double block here.
So an attack that's going to put a 4/4 Angel into play and involve the Experiment 1. If Alastair double blocks, Cameron will have the option of Rapid Hybridizing the Deathrite Shaman. It does give Alastair a 3/3, which is not really enticing, but it does push pushes Geist through.
Yeah, and it gets through 2 extra damage this turn
Alastair just took
additional 5. Wow.
That's fine to do once. You can't do that again.
That's what Cameron wanted there. I think he'd rather have that Rapid Hybridization for something else. So at this point, he has a choice of playing Ground Seals, and he chooses to do so.
Absolutely.
It's not super exciting given the current state of Alastair's graveyard, but it helps out for the future.
It's part of the game plan. This is a great window to play it in.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And the exciting thing about this is he has another Ground Seal in his hand.
Seal, yeah.
So if he can get Alastair to burn an Abrupt Decay on the first Ground Seal, that's a big win for him, right?
Absolutely. Alastair stuck on 4 lands still. Did draw a Thragtusk here.
Finish your turn, complete 5 additional turns.
I really don't like that the Geist is still, that he got a hit in with Geist last turn is pretty bad.
Yeah. And now Cameron has the option of attack with Geist, Rapid Hybridization the blocker, get through 4 transitions.
Well, yeah, if he attacks with Geist, I mean, what I would see is he would attack with Geist, and if Alastair makes the play of the straightforward play, which is putting Restoration Angel in front of the Geist, it's really not going to work out well because Rapid Hybridize the Angel.
Yep. The Angel?
The Restoration.
The Restoration. Yes.
They're both.
There are many angels. Yeah. So we attack with the Geist. We evolve both of the Experiment 1s, and now Alastair has the tough choice of how am I going to block? And he's facing down a lot of damage. Okay, apparently there's a response.
The response to making an angel to these. It's a response to the evolved triggers. Yeah. I think he's debating Abrupt Decaying the one. He's debating Abrupt Decaying the Experiment 1 before it gets its second counter.
Right, because it could regenerate if necessary.
Correct. All right, and that is a straightforward play. And Cameron, it seems to me that Cameron would punish him here by Rapid Hybridizing the angel.
Yeah.
The Restoration Angel. It'd be that would trample over would make.
It gets 4 trample this turn.
It gets all the
and
damage.
It gets another 4 angel damage next turn.
So put Alastair to 6.
Yeah.
And then he'll also get 2 more evolves next turn.
Yeah.
So
we're getting, this is essentially doing 8 damage to Alastair and getting 2 more evolves, which is huge. So Alastair's going to 6 here. And while he can Deathrite Shaman a creature to gain some life. Oh no, he can't even do that.
No,
because of the
he's
ground
going to
seal.
Abrupt Decay the Angel token. So he goes to 10 instead of 6.
Yep. Getting a little ahead of myself here.
Yeah, it's still a dicey situation. Second Ground Seal cycles into a Cloudfin Raptor. A little bit of a misstep there.
Yeah.
He has a Sun Petal Grove and Cloudfin Raptor in hand.
And he tapped a blue producing land.
Yeah,
for
you
it.
probably wanted to leave blue-green up, so that would be more friendly to your 1-drops.
Miss, a point of damage there, possibly.
Yep.
So Alastair at this point, I think he needs to sever the bloodline, the 2 experiment ones.
Absolutely, and that's why he didn't Abrupt Decay there.
Yeah, but now, what are we doing against the dice? We're taking, I guess
That's
we're
fine.
blocking with the
We're blocking with
lizard.
the Frog Lizard, and we're not
Taking
dead.
trample.
We're
Yeah, no,
close
that's
to dead.
much
We're not
better.
dead. The severed bloodline huge there.
John Bjornstad in Skylar Bergstocken. Please come to site event registration.
Cameron's going to need, and that Celestia charm,
It is.
that, checking if, the question is that enough? What it actually, the reason it probably is enough is that it allows the Geist to not
live,
die.
yeah.
Yeah, and get another Angel swing the next turn.
So we just keep getting Angel and Angel and Angel. So attack with the guys, create an Angel. We're going to evolve the Cloudfin Raptor. We're going to block with the Frog Lizard. And then Celestia Charm tramples through.
Yep.
So we get 3 trample damage, 4 angel damage, and the Geist of Saint Traft is going to live through this turn.
It's down to 3.
Yep. Assuming no more tricks.
If he can draw a land, he'll go to 8. He'll still be. He'll need. That'll be. Then Cameron can put him down to 2 again.
Yeah. So we're attacking 5. Cameron's attacking 5 in the air next turn.
He didn't draw the land anyway. So it'll be 6 in the air after the evolve trigger.
Right.
And then it'll be 6 in the air and he'll be left with a 2-power flyer for the next turn.
Yeah.
Still to get Alastair down by 8. That said, he didn't draw the land anyway.
Yeah. So
I don't think
it's an
Alastair can get
academic
this.
point. So Alastair's just making sure he doesn't have any more outs. He's got a Tragic Slip in his hand and the Angel of Serenity and a Mana Guy, and he extends the hand. So Cameron Herzog, with Evolve Aggro, wins 2-1 versus Alastair Pickett and Junk Reanimator. And you can see that Cameron's pretty excited about this.
Absolutely. So Cameron, I believe, still at X and 1. I believe so. I believe they're still with 1 loss. Still has a shot at the top 8 here. We'll need